the dashboard. All right. Now I'm going to build the dashboard in Lovable. But what I'm also going to do, guys, is get the database. So I want all this information started on a database, and that database is going to be in Airtable, aka Google Sheets, Mexican supplements. And then the third one is going to be, we've got data, right? But it's like, data in terms of what we want to actually look like. So we're going to connect it to ChatGPT, or your AI of choice, for amazing results. Cool. With a few S's to emphasize just how flipping amazing these results are actually going to freaking be. Cool. So let's start with the keyword. Let's start with LinkedIn. And what I want to do is be able to scrape the data, and then I'm going to add it to Airtable, and then I'm going to do the same for YouTube, and then I'm going to do the same for Instagram. Okay, so I'm going to start with the mysterious, the wonderful LinkedIn. So let's open up LinkedIn to get started. Cool. So the website we have, guys, is going to be none other than phantombuster.com. Kind of looks like a ghost. Why is it a phantom? I have no idea. Cool. So you're going to sign up, and you should get a credit account for free, which is pretty awesome. And basically, the way that Phantom Buster works, it's like a scraping platform that has some really interesting particular use cases. So let's go over to our dashboard, top left, and you want to go and add a phantom. Okay, you click on Browse Phantoms real quick, and the phantom I want to add is just untitled LinkedIn Activity Extractor. Okay, so I come down here, I type in LinkedIn Activity Extractor. You can click on Use Now. We do really like you. Maybe later, my guy. Maybe later. But basically, in fact, let me just delete the other one so that you can actually see what this is about. Let me delete that. Cool. It's cool. It gives you one for free, but for our purposes, guys, we only really need one, which is cool. So we click on Use One here. Use Now. Excuse me. All right. Cool. So let's test this one out. Beautiful. Now, what it will ask you to do, guys, is it will give you a URL. So in this case, you can need multiple people. I'm just interested in mine. So if I come over to my profile and I copy this and then come back over to LinkedIn and I just select in a URL. This could be a Google Doc, by the way, if you've got lots of different accounts you want to scrape, but that's like for a different video. And we click on Save. Cool. It's actually managed to pull everything. Now, one of the things that's going to happen here, guys, is you're going to need to install the Chrome extension. And you won't see this yet. It'll pop up on screen. Add that in. You see this little go. You might not see it on your screen, but there's a little ghost on the top right. And basically what that does is grabs your cookie for LinkedIn, which means it's then able to go and script posts. You want to be careful if you're doing a lot of script on LinkedIn because they will pick up on that activity and it can have effects on your account. But because of this, I've had absolutely zero issues whatsoever. So I click on Save, which is cool. Now, number of profiles, process for launch. Again, this is important if you, if you're doing multiple at the same time. I'm really only interested in posts. Number of items, activity type. I'm going to say 40 because that's just the way that I rock and I roll. Advanced settings. You can, if you want to be specific about like a date you want to do that on, which is really cool. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Name of file result, that's cool. Filter keep, that's fine. I click on Save. So we've got this one here. I'm just going to click run this one once. We can actually launch this in a scenario periodically when we like to in Make.com, which is absolutely fine. And then click on Save, which is cool. And then let's put this launch right here. And what it should do then is basically grab all the stuff that I've been yapping about and talking about, like success stories, random stuff happening, blah, 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 blah. You get beautiful idea. Look at me getting on blast these on red DMs. Oh my goodness. But basically what's going to happen, guys, is this is going to complete. Once that's actually finished, we're going to grab that data and we're going to pull it through a Make. So whilst that's kind of working beautifully in the background, what I want to do then is head over to, in fact, not Make, I'm going to head over to N8N. So let's go to N8N real quick. Okay, so I've landed over into N8N. So let's just create this one here, LinkedIn Phantom Buster. Beautiful. Obviously, guys, if you're not using LinkedIn, feel free to skip all these parts and just get the bits that are most relevant to you. So click on Add First Step. We are going to go for Phantom Buster, which is this guy right here. I think they've got that old logo actually, which is cool. And the one I want to look at here, guys, is going to get the output of an agent like so, right? And it's going to ask for an agent name or ID. You'll need to connect it to Phantom Buster. To connect it, just come over to your dashboard, click on the name, come down to API keys here. And when you have to load it up, you can actually copy your add an API key, copy that code, come back over then to the beautiful N8N, and then pop it in. Once you click here, add it gradually, see enter it in there, and then you're going to be ready to rock and roll, and that will connect it for you. Okay. So if I come back over then to our beautiful scenario that has actually completed, and we've got 26 results, and we'll look at this, guys. We've got all the information. So his post content, his how many likes I had, how many comments I had. And so personally, guys, what I want to do with my team is to kind of build this badass dashboard, right? With all this information about like what posted really well, like what did people resonate with, and use that information to make better content. And actually, it's just kind of happening on Autopilot in the background. People joining the school community in the background. It's all happening at the same time. It's awesome. Cool. So we've got all this individual data, which is awesome. So what do we want to do? We get back over then to N8N. I want to select an agent or name. And then this will just pull through that one. And then look, if you click on test step, this should load. And then you see it's got 26 items, guys. That's basically pulled through all this key information. How many likes, how many comments, when it's posted, how many views it's got, all this information. Then what we want to do is add that into Airtable. So let's now go ahead and create our beautiful Airtable account. Okay, I'm in Airtable. I come to the bottom line. I click on create and start from scratch, which is really cool. So I'm over here and we'll call this one social. In fact, I've got this lean level. Let me get this guy out of here. Oh my goodness, get this guy out of here. Okay, we're back. So table one, we're going to call LinkedIn. Okay, and let's just add some new tables. In fact, I'll do that later. So let's look at the data that we've got, guys, just to decide what we want to do. Unlimited down below for like these kind of like build and chill. Who needs Netflix and chill when you can build and chill these days? You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. So what we've got image URL. Let's just find out what the image URL is. Is that something I posted? Okay, that was just an image uploaded. That's cool. That could be handy, right? Post URL. Okay, post URL is definitely something we want to add in there, right? So let's go to here. First one is going to be, okay, URL for the post. Cool. Decent. Actually, I'm going to be really finicky here, guys. And I'm basically going to put post URL. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I'm just going to delete all these guys, and you'll see why in a second. This could be easier. Delete, delete, delete. Cool. Add new one up. And what else we got? What else we kind of want in there? Post content would be cool too. Yeah, post content and long text is cool. Let's add another one in. And what else would be relevant? Comment count, repost. Actually, you know, guys, I'm going to get crazy here. I'm just going to have speech. Cool. It's a number of comments. That's cool. And then we want repost, right? Or maybe repeat or something. Yeah, okay. Reposts. That's decent. And then what else have we got? We want likes and views. Cool. Add those ones in. Okay, guys, let's add in likes and views. Obviously, these could be numbers. I'm just putting on text because I made it a little bit lazy. And I'll add some eyeballs in. Beautiful. Okay, great. And basically, at this stage, you just go through and select what data you think is flipping relevant. Anything else relevant? Timestamp. Yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. Yeah, we'll just put when it was posted. That seems like that'd be quite reasonable, right? And then we'll just do when posted, and then that's cool. Beautiful. All right, cool. So the next thing to do is actually social media domination. And you know, guys, the reason why I'm building this automation is because I was like, I need to build this. I was like, oh, I'll just freaking jump on the channel and just show you guys what I'm actually building in my business. Beautiful. Okay, cool. This is decent. All right. So let's go over to LinkedIn. Let's pin this data. In other words, N8N will like hold it tight in there like a treasured loved one for us. And then I come over here and I go to Airtable. All right, beautiful. What do I want to do? Well, I kind of want to like create a record. Let's have a look. Unless I pick the base that we've got here, guys. It says go to social media domination. Let's have a look. Authorizations failed. Oh my goodness, we've been kicked out. Let's see if this one works. No. Okay, guys, I'm being kicked out of Airtable. So let me just create a new credential real quick. And it's asking for an access token. So let's go over to Airtable and just correct that real quick. Okay, so over here, I think it's some developer hub that we need. Could be the builder hub. Oh, cool. Create a token. Name this one be Beast. And let's give it some scopes. I'm going to give it all the scopes in the world. Cool. So I've added bases. Excuse me, I've added scopes. I can add access. And let's just give it to all of each current basically workspaces. Create a token. Cool. And then you've created the token. I just copy it basically. And then when I come over to our beautiful scenario, come to the access token, post it in, click save, and we should be connected. We're connected. Okay, cool. So then I would insert that password. Thank you, my man. Click on base, and we should start to see all my stuff. Cool. So we're looking at social media domination. Okay, beautiful. And then mapping. No columns on the Airtable. Sure about that. We're going to map it automatically. Actually, no, we're going to map each column manually. Okay, we need to pick the table, which is LinkedIn. Cool. It's cool. It will map automatically sometimes if they're all named the same, which I didn't name the same because I like to live dangerously and make things more difficult than they need to be sometimes. Cool. And that's come down. Green means it's good. Post content. Beautiful. Comment count. Where's comment count? Beautiful. LinkedIn's a funny platform, right, guys? Where's a repost? I repost count this way. And then like this is when I get it rogue. When I start naming things as emojis, guys, this is the price I pay. This is the price I pay for trying to make it look really cool. And then on views, obviously we'll get every single thing that we have, which has a view count. And then when post it, it's just simply post timestamp. Beautiful. Okay, decent. And then I think if we just go for something that a test step, this should add up. Your request is invalid or could not be processed by the item. Cannot pass value 6 for field comment count. Okay, that sounds controversial. Let's go over and see what's going on with field 6. Is that because that's text, not number? Okay, let's come back and try that one more time. Let's see what's going on with that. And test this one more time. Cannot pass value 0 for field reposts. So I wonder if it's just because these are numbers and it's saying, hey, I know you've lazily put text, but we will not allow that. So let's just quickly change all the numbers. What else have we got? Yeah, reposts. Okay, we've got numbers. Let's go for, yeah, that's fine. What else have we got? Comment count. Yeah, that's numbers. Yeah, I think that's fine. Actually, just for using it, isn't it? Yeah, beautiful. All right, sweet. Let's go check that out and test this one more time. And it looks a little more promising, which is code for good news. Columns are outdated. How dare you refer to my columns as outdated? I think that's highly offensive. But guys, look, we got it. We got the beautiful, all these posts I did. Guys, look how much hard work I put into LinkedIn. Can you believe it? All right, this is cool. This will deleted. And this is code for good news. 0. This is something harsh about 0.0. Let me just change this for the aesthetics. Right click, and I think we just want to go for, normally it lets you change this. I wonder if it's because I've got a different thing here. If I come down instead of edit field, I think decimal places is 0, and that should tidy up a little bit. Okay, that's cool. I'm just going to do the same, please, real quick. All right, guys, we've done it. We have successfully scraped this stuff. And if we wanted to do some repeat, we would just basically add a module into NA10 to run this every single week. And then that would just add it constantly to the Airtable, blah, blah, blah. And we're done. So this is LinkedIn. Beautiful. So next thing we do is to do the wonderful Instagram. So to do that, let's head over to Appify, like so, and let's log in. I'll put a link down below for Appify, guys, to check out. You do get $5 completely free every single month. I want you to look at this, guys. We've got Instagram Scraper already working for us in the background. So let's go to the Appify store, the Willy Wonka's Emporium. And almost by magic, guys, one of the top ones out there is this Instagram Scraper. So let's click on it. Beautiful. All right. What do you want to do? This is Hermo's example. Let me just grab my URL. In fact, I'll just have his data in here. It'll just be easy, just for actually, no, I need my own data actually, because I need this to be accurate. All right, so this is my beautiful profile. We've got some cool game stuff happening on there, guys. Hermo's roast my channel. Don't ask me too many questions about that. No, but also that was really cool. I really appreciate that. Got a lot of valuable, beautiful insight from that. It's a great post. Yeah, that's cool. Let's look what we want to do. Map results. Let's have a look actually. No, we're not really interested in search queries actually, to be fair, guys. Yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. So we come down, absolute. Yeah, so what we can do actually when we run this in the automations is we can say, hey, only do this for the last like 7 days. The reason why that's really freaking cool is because then it'll just always only go back for 7 days. So let's just test this actually works. So click save and start, and this should start to run beautifully in the background. And then what I'm going to do is then build this in NA10. Now, if I head over to NA10, I should also be able to do it in this one here. Now, if I add a new item, if I come down here, Appify might already be in here. But I think what we want to do, so like, basically, guys, Make has a module for it, but you can use it in NA10 if you want to. You just have to use this HTTP request thing instead. So let's have a little play around with that actually. And to do that, I'm just going to head over to Qwen and log in. And if you're wondering what is Qwen, let me just tell you guys, Qwen is like DeepSeek, but is actually accessible. And the reason I'm using Qwen, I use Qwen and Claude is because Qwen can just access internet and also think. So basically what I'm going to do to it, if it's like any API, I say, hey, I want to integrate Appify into NA10. I would like to do the asynchronous call, meaning it runs the actor and retrieves the data in the same request, I guess you would say. Here is the info you might need. And then here's crucial, guys. So please create for me a curl request. Curl is just something where you can like copy it. And then actually what happens, guys, in our phenomenal NA10 scenario, import curl, is you just paste it and then it does all the freaking nonsense of just filling out headers and query parameters and all that sort of stuff. So we just always get to state your intention when we talk these models. Like, this is actually what I'm trying to do, because it'll just sometimes it takes what you say to literally, and you go down beautiful rabbit holes, which can be fun, but you know, time is a beautiful thing. All right, cool. So this has pulled 3 posts down. That's not quite what I wanted though, because what I wanted really was reels, not so much the posts. So this is leading me to believe that I might actually be on the wrong thing. So script posts, script comments, script profile reels. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. Let me just redo this again. Okay, cool. I mean, posts are cool, but like if it's for growth, all growth usually is reels, isn't it? So if I come down to JSON, that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to duplicate this page just so I can do some stuff. And you always know that Appify is working, guys, when you see this memory usage up left-hand side doing some stuff. Would you believe it? It has pulled through. Let's cool data. We like this. I thought it's one of my things response, but it's not really funny. All right, cool. So what do we do? If I come back over to the Instagram scraper, this is it. Click on JSON, and then this is the JSON for the profile, right? So what we're going to do is basically copy all this JSON, like so, and come back over to Qwen. Let's say, hey, the JSON for the scraper. And I think it also needs, on top of that, I believe that it needs to know what the name of this thing is, which is the actor. Yeah. So if I come here and I just say, hey, actor name. And also, I wonder if this code is relevant. I don't believe it is, but sometimes I just throw this information just for the sake of it, which is in the description. And then I also want to say, if you need any other info, like API, although to be fair with you, I'm not reading my API to Qwen. I'm just going to get it and I'll just leave the API blank and then we can add that in separately once it's done. So Qwen is thinking, which is good. We want it to quite think as simple as possible. By the way, what was it like? Have you seen like the image gen stuff? I have to show you the stuff, right? It is freaking unbelievable. Like the level ChatGPT's got to is in freaking insane. I think I did a post on this, didn't I? Where is it? Yeah, so dude, some guy in my community, Noel, he freaking made this like a freaking badass assistant. This is because AI's been stealing my gains. I did like the AI generated image and I made my arms like drawing parts. Added, man, this is cool. This represents our levels. So like one of the things I'm going to do is create like certain levels in the group. You get like stickers and we just like send cool stuff out. But it's getting insane. Like there's also another tool like Coded, which is how you can get text and images now. It's on freaking believe. It is actually a genuine step change. That has really impressed me. So it's quite done. Yeah. Okay, this is cool. Right, let's go check if it works. And so I come over to a beautiful thing here. Click on import curl. Insert and import. This is decent. Nice. Now we just need to give authentication, which is API token. So let's just grab that from Appify. Where would that be? Let's see if we can find it. It's always a little squirrely journey to find your API tokens at these places. Right in settings. Let's have a quick look. Right there. API integration. Cool. Click on this. And then let's just copy or create API key. Come back over to your beautiful scenario. And guys, API token, just enter it here. Cool. Now let's click on test app. I'm assuming this won't work. Yeah, there we go. We have bad news. There's no API endpoint at this URL. Did you specify it correctly? Cool. So I can copy this error quick. I could think about it, but it's simply quick to do this. Let's just enter that back in that and come back and get a little bit of troubleshoot. I suspect what it's done is not checked the key bits for Appify scraping. Yeah. Okay, so it's given us a correct URL command. Let's copy this and try this one more time. Come back over to NXN. Cool. Import curl. Let's delete this guy into this one and import. Cool. And then we just do the same thing with the API tokens, guys. Guys, it's going to be a bit mischief. So I'm just going to run this one into Claude. I'm going to say, hey, here is some API docs. And then just give it the information from this. Quite normally doesn't let me down, but today it's been a little bit naughty. And I'm keeping this stuff in the video just so you can kind of see the process of how much straightforward it is, so you can actually do it. And it looks like it's done it immediately. So let's just see if we can do this. Click on copy and head back over to the beautiful edited scenario. Import code. And do this one in. Click import. Beautiful. And then I think we just need to give it API tokens. So let's just enter that one in. Then we click on test app. It seems to be executing properly. What did we learn from this? We learned that Claude is freaking much better when it comes to coding than anything else. Cool. So this is working in the background. Once it's done that, we should get all the information then that we had to Appify. Should we see if it's running? And guys, that memory being 1 GB is basically amazing to see because it means it's working for us beautifully in the background. That means that it will land in NA10 for us phenomenally. So let's come over to this. It has completed. And what do we have? We have some information, which is cool. But it doesn't seem to pull through the data. So guys, I've just rerun this one again. Basically what Claude asked me to do, because it wasn't pulling down the data, was to actually increase some of the items in the URL that was going through. Basically told to wait for 300 seconds. I'll just show you that really quickly. You see there, like, it's copied this. It says, hey, wait to finish equals 300. So come back over. Has that gone through an Appify? It looks like it's completed. So let's go to NA10. Click on it. See what we've got. Cool. And it's just pulled through one for data. So let's just find out what's happened. Cool, guys. So I think what we're going to do next is get a different module to pull it down with the data set. So what I'm going to do is deactivate Phantom. As hard as it is to say for a moment, grab this. And we can probably just connect these together, to be honest with you, actually, when we're done. So it runs in one sequence because hashtag why not, right? Let's come down here. So let's link these guys together. We are going to want to do another request to grab it. So let's come down here, HTTP request. And then in the URL, guys, you're going to enter this thing, grab from Claude, which is this, which is going to grab the node. And what's really cool is Claude can really help you problem solve this sort of stuff. And then here, we're going to place this with our API key down below. But if you want to play this, I will put this in community just so you can grab them. So you don't have to faff around with this stuff. So let me grab the API key. Oh, when that's done, guys, just make sure this is pinned so it can run. And then if I click on test workflow, this should request data. And voila, we have all the data on the right-hand side, which is very flipping cool, which is decent. So what we're going to do is come to this guy. We're going to duplicate him, bring him over and connect. And let's just reactivate this guy. And then just pick the data we want to go again. So in this case, we have got the input URL, which is cool. So head back over to the beautiful Airtable. I'm going to right click. I'm going to click on duplicate table because some will be similar. Phenomenal. And let's just pick out all the stuff that we need then. So first one we're going to want is, okay, let's have a look. URL's fine. Caption. All right, sweet. So start with this one. We'll go for caption. All right, I'm sold on that. What else do we want? Hashtags is cool. That's fine. URL will be good, I think, actually, wouldn't it? Is this the right URL? Let me just double check. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so we've got the right URL. So post URL, that's decent. Captions. Come back over here. What else have we got? Yeah, replies and likes would be good. Give a comment count. Repost, like. You don't really track that. I'm just going to do just delete that. Likes, views, when posted, comment count. That's fine. Or any other useful data we want? No, that's fine, actually. And we've got some comments, which is cool. These are people who've just said, hey, this is really cool. I'd like to know more about this. This is decent. Latest comments. Images we don't really need to mess around with so much. Video play count. Yeah, that's probably good, actually. Video view count, and video plays, and video views. So let's call this one here video views. And let's just duplicate that one and call that one video plays. And then have a, I think the difference, by the way, between those two things is like unique viewer watching it 20 times type of situation. So like one unique viewer, but like 20 plays, so to speak. So basically, what's the other is grab all the things that you want. We have got likes, that's really cool and important. Yeah, cool. And then when posted. So let's then add this to the Airtable. So click on this guy. Map each card. No, we don't want to map it each one. So instead of LinkedIn, we want to click on Instagram now, which is cool. Give us a second, and then we just are going to bring them all over. So start with a caption. Beautiful, that's decent. And then comment count. Obviously, you can make this even more complex. Like, you know, if I was spending more time on this, I would add in the transcript. But I think this would be good now because we want to double click on the ones and listen to it and grab that and then improve that a little bit. So comment count, I think it's weird, isn't it? Considering the comment count is 0. Yeah, there are obviously comments there. That is enigmatic to say the least. Okay, I'll look into that one. Okay, cool. Then we've got likes. Let's just add that one in here. Likes count, which is cool. Video view count will go here, and then video play count will go there. And I think that's all of them actually. And then when posted, video duration. That's actually a really good one. Let's add that one in because I wonder if like video length could be an interesting fact to track. One of my theories at the moment is, you know, 20 to 30 seconds is really good. It all depends on the niche, really. I'm trying to focus my content how entrepreneurs crush it with really helpful stuff. So they tend to have a longer attention span. But nonetheless, it's it's good to be mindful and check those numbers to see what's going on there. So we want number 9, right? Okay, beautiful. All right, let's go back over then. Cool. And then and actually what you can do, guys, is refresh this, and it should pop in at the bottom. Like magic. Someone said it's like magic. I quite like that. Video duration, that's cool. Yeah, okay, that's sweet actually. And then when posted, let's just grab what that one looks like. They should say timestamp. Yeah, timestamp will be fine. And then we've got video URL. So grab this one here. Cool, sweet. So I believe now we can just test that, and it has said, hey, we're happy with that, Jack. What is going on? Authorization, please check your credentials in HTTP node. All right, let's check out what's going on. Because I removed it to check it. Let me just add this back in real quick. Cool, so we've got the API key and come back over to the scenario. Beautiful, and just add that in, which is going to be, there you go, token equals here. Let's get rid of this and add it in. Sorry, come down here, get rid of the Apify bit, yeah, and then we'll add it in here. Cool, and we should be able to play that one for us. So let's execute the workflow. That's making some cog-turning sounds, which is code for good news. And then if we head over to our database, bada bing, bada bam, we've got all this stuff popping in, which is cool. So now we got Instagram, we've got LinkedIn. Let's also then show you guys check out beautiful YouTube now. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to duplicate this one more time. And obviously, guys, the TLDR of this is just keep repeating it until you've got everything you need. Now, the YouTube one's really cool. We can get really spicy with the YouTube one. So for this one, we're going to get a little bit left field, and we're going to head over to make.com. So actually, what I've got, if I head over to my community, let me just come over to the homepage real quick. And we can just grab this one to save a little bit of time. So come over to Classroom. It should be in this one, our Vault. And on the YouTube section here, YouTube Data Scraper. Go ahead and download this, just right here. Yeah, download. Maybe one of those, but it's like on the left, you've got like the things like social media, voice, make money. But actually, you come down to assets on YouTube, it'll be there. And then this video is going to be in social media at the top. It'll be number 81, and you can actually just get all this stuff here and download it. I know you tech support and stuff there, so you're ready to rock and roll. Then let's head over to make.com. Cool. And let's come down to these three beautiful dots and import the blueprint and choose the file. Select the file, and voila, it has appeared. So let me kind of give you the details what's going on here. What I'm doing is, first of all, I'm using the RSS feeds, and what I'm going to kind of do is grab the last 7 days with the videos that I've done. That's basically how I want it to run. So just quickly shoot over to rss.app as well. I'll put a link down below. You can get started on this one for free as well. So come on, get started. But what's cool, guys, is if I come and grab my YouTube URL, I'm going to come over. Let's just grab that real quick. Get a little bit darker, isn't it? Let's go for Jack Roberts. There we go. Oh my gosh, I've searched myself before. Let's go right. Click on my profile. But if you haven't seen this video, not a billion people watch that, but I actually think it's one of the best videos I've done. I would highly recommend checking it out. So look, I grab this URL. I come over to where we are right now. Yeah, this is the problem with having a gazillion tabs is you can never really find anything. Come URL, enter this one in, and then hit generate. What this will do is create an RSS feed, which stands for really simple syndication. Basically, it will just find everything I've done. So you can see that this looks really freaking familiar. This is everything I've done. The other video I did on Lovable and SaaS and blah, 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 all this cool stuff, right? So what you would basically do is come to filters. And this is just for me because, I mean, like, I just want to know what's happening in the last 7 days because I want to do this. But look, you can actually, if I say feed, cool, I can click on this, which is to hide anything older than 7 days. So when I do this scratch, you can see how this is already blocked out. The automation of soft 10K and the 5 powerful skills will only pull through these 4 videos because in our database, we don't need to keep re-adding the same stuff, right? Which is really cool. So then if I come over to overview, I can copy this. This is the key thing that you want, right? Then if I come over to meg.com, which is here, I click on RSS, I'm gonna get rid of this guy, whatever that code was, and enter this, right? Now when I run this, this is all gonna basically what's gonna happen here. We're going to iterate it, which means it's going to fire through all the different things. Like, for example, check this out on link, and then when it's learning, you'll see output 1, output bundle 2, right? How to get clients with no budget. That's a good podcast. How to build a one on the web app. These are all videos I posted in the last 7 days. I've done 4, which means I'm on track, I'm on target, and I'm going to go to 65, which is cool. The iterate it means we're going to iterate through that stuff. This one here, the script transcript, you can do this with some jiggery pokery with the API if you want to. We actually built this in the community because we wanted to kind of simplify the process. You unlock that level 4 in the group, which is basically put a URL in, it grabs the transcript, simple as that. The ID extractor, guys, what this does is basically takes the ID of the video. So every video that exists on YouTube has like a unique alphanumeric code. And you need that information. Then this HTTP request will scrape, and we're doing this directly with the Google API. We'll scrape comments, we'll scrape thumbnail, scrape stats, which is cool, and then we'll pass some stuff out. Summarize the transcript and get to Airtable. The one thing you'll need to do to get this to run properly is go over to this link. I'll just pull it right now for you. That's console.cloud.google.com. And basically what you do is create a project, and then you're going to search for here, YouTube API, and click on this guy. You're going to create credential, you're going to enable. I'll put a link down below in the description so you can follow that process if you're not set up yet. Basically, all I need to do then is just kind of freaking grab and access the data as well, which is really, really cool. And something we want to simplify. Then I come down, and then we're going to do a transcript summarizer, which means that maybe we don't want everything said, especially the summary, add Airtable. But in this case, we're going to pick a different Airtable. So let's click on a different base. So this one's going to be social domination, right? Oops. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's go up here. Social media domination. Oh, it's got like it has got a flame on it. Cool. Then table is going to be, let's refresh that. And we're looking for YouTube. Sweet. So then let's just pick up the things that we need, right? So one thing is going to be video URL. So let's just add these things real quick. So YouTube video. We are going to want comments. We are going to want to know something like the likes. Of course, give that a beautiful emoji like so. We want to know, I guess, what are the factors that we actually get from automation by check comments, likes. Thumbnail could be cool actually as well, to be fair, if you want. So I could say, like, I don't know, thumbnail. But maybe you yourself want to come in and check this out, right? If I come down to attachments. Okay, beautiful. That's good. If I had like video comments, likes, thumbnails, and this one, if I just had something like when posted, so I just get rid of this. We don't need this one, and we have views. Yeah, okay, this is really cool. All right, sweet. So let's just come over to make, and let's just add in those different things. I've got a sneaking feeling that it's not, it doesn't quite let us do that yet. So let me just unlink these and run it once, just to show what it looks like. So I run once, grabs it, iterates, YouTube transcript is doing it. So what's this grab? If I look at this, guys, ready? Look at the magic. Okay, it's not right there. It is here. Hey guys, it's Jack. Today we're talking about how to get automation clients inbound. So you can want this guy. Cool. And then just starts to go all the way through. We can probably stop to that real quick. Clone this guy, link this guy in, and then we can start to add in all the information. Okay, table is not this one. Let's just grab the right one. Oh, just the base, that's why. Okay. There we go. That kind of makes more sense, right, guys? And then we want to refresh that on YouTube. Cool. And then we should be able to enter all the data. YouTube videos. So let's go down. It is this one. Beautiful. Comments. Let's get the summary of the comments, which we want, which is this guy. Very, very important, by the way. Then we look at likes. So we're looking at statistics. And there you go. Guys. There's the likes. There is the views. And then we've got a number of comments. Do you know, I think that'd be a nice one, actually. I'm actually going to forget the thumbnail. I'm just going to change this one to number of comments, and let's just make that like, I don't know, a number. There we go, cool. All right, so we can put that down to make right here. Let's just refresh these just so they're properly. We should be good to rock and roll. I got to stand for a laptop recently. I'm really conscious. You want to keep that good crisp. We have postures come down, numbers, let's go to statistics. Oh, right there. Comment count 13. Cool. And then when is it posted? Do we know that data? Do we know any of that data? When was it posted? Oh, yeah, date made. Cool. All right, sweet. I think that's good. Click save. And then let's run this one more time for great luck. Hit this. Bada bing, bada bang. Cool. Now this works properly. We should start to get the Jack Roberts YouTube videos popping up basically here, the live data. And then we will actually, guys, at that stage, be complete with step one, scraping social media. We should get like a big pen to like cross the map, but we freaking crush that. All right, and there we go, guys. Look. Comments, likes, comments, views, blah, 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 when it's posted. Cool. So now every week, this is going to run on autopilot. All I would need to do is basically set something at the beginning, which says, hey, this is how often I want to run. Just like here, so every 50 minutes, I'll just say, hey, I want this to run days a week. And I just say, hey, run on Monday at this time. Then save it. And then boom, it will just do this every single week. So let's activate the scenario. That's fine. And of course, we want to do is save it. That's cool. Guys, that's awesome. That's what it would be. This API is free, by the way. There's no cost in that. And it's run rock and roll. So let's zoom out there very quickly. So we have scraped social media. Should I get a big line? Actually, let's not get too crazy. Now we're going to build the dashboard, okay? Now, how are we going to do that? Well, obviously, we need to inherit the Lovable. And then essentially, the key thing I needed to do, one is going to be the design of what I want to look like. And second of all, it needs to pull the data. And once it's done that, we're going to add in this additional feature for ChatGPT. So let's head over to the beautiful lovable.dev. Make some magic happen. Okay. So, all right, let's think about this. I'm going to say, hey, I would like a beautiful data analytics dashboard that provides stats for my, I'm going to say here, YouTube, LinkedIn, and also Instagram. I'm going to say, crucially, you will receive this data from Airtable. You will make a call to the Airtable database whenever the page loads and share that data. Let me know what information you require for this, like keys, etc. For design, use this as inspiration. Cool. And obviously, guys, I'm going to head over to CodePen. CodePen being a badass, really cool website. I did this before on a previous one, but basically the way that it's all works, guys, CodePen, you can kind of just like browse through a bazillion different things and see what you like. And then, like I like this. Well, you can get the code for it. This actually is really cool. Let's make him punch. Let's make him jump. Okay, this is funny. But basically, the idea is you can kind of copy the code for anything you want to, and then just enter it. I'm going to refresh this because I think I destroyed the HTML. No, I didn't. Okay, cool. So look, I come over with the ball. I'm just going to throw some code in. Okay, that's cool. Oops. And come down the bottom, and then let's just do one more over here, which is going to be not the guy who keeps dying for us, the JavaScript. Bam. And then we hit enter. Beautiful. Now I'm expecting a little bit of, should we say, a little bit of some banter, a little bit of back and forth now with Lovable as we go through this beautiful journey, because the key integration point here. Now, the thing is, guys, like when you're trying to do something really unique and epic, you're trying to integrate these things together. It's only ever going to get easier over time, right? But this is one of the reasons why it's so freaking cool, because no one's really prepared to do the steps it takes. And like, say you work for your company or you've got clients, like, but to pull together these crisp dashboards, nobody's doing that. Nobody's got this like sick, amazing, beautiful, interactive, engaging graphics. Like, and that's always been the curse of like the data guy, right? The data guy can show you the data, but it's like not about the data. It's about presenting the data in a way that we can actually make decisions about it, right? And the way you enable people to make decisions is you reduce the cognitive requirements to understand what this actually means, which is why I always harp on about design. And I think it's the biggest, most underutilized hack ever, because it's this great book called Don't Make Me Think. It's like the design should just glide over you. It should just kind of like, oh, well, obviously these are things that we need to double click into. So I say that to say, I think that's really important. Now, I'm going to preempt some problems here. And what I'm going to do in my preemption is head over to Claude. And essentially what I'm going to do is open a new window over here. And I'm going to say, hey, I am integrating Airtable with Airtable with Lovable.dev. I would like it to pull down data from 3 tabs. What will be required, information-wise, for Lovable to do this? Please provide instructions. Bam. So I'm just going to find out, just from Claude's perspective, what it thinks that we're going to need. So Claude thinks we're going to need the base ID and Airtable API key. Okay, and view IDs. Okay, that's interesting. So we know what we're going to need. So we've got the API key, which is cool, and then we need the URL, and we can find that there. So if I come over to Lovable, let's create this, for example, say, hey, the base ID is, and then we're going to give it the URL of our beautiful page. Here, I'm just going to copy it, for example, come here and bam. And I'm going to say, let me know when you're ready for the API key, so you can grab the data. Also, yeah, that's just fine. Decent. So Lovable will do its magic in the background, and then we can give it this request. And guys, would you look at this? It preempted me. So Airtable base ID, let's enter that, and then we need the Airtable API key. So let's just grab that real quick from Airtable. Come down to build a hub. Come over here, and I believe the API keys are here. So guys, you create a new token or use the one you used previously, come over to Lovable, and then enter in your Airtable API key right here. And then guys, basically the Airtable base ID is the first string of numbers after Airtable.com. So if I click on connect to Airtable, let's just see if this works for us in the background. I'll be honest with you guys, this is pretty flippin' impressive. All right, app has encountered an error, which is cool. Actually, guys, I had a thought. I wonder if we could just share this and it could scrape it, right? Like that's another idea actually. We just give it a link to view it, because you could do this already with other people. Like just give them a link, they can check the data and pull it down if they want to. So see if we can do that, for example. Cool, copy link. And then we can try that with Lovable, because the entering in didn't work. Obviously, we expected that. You need to do a little bit of finessing, but let's see if this works. Cool, it's a small error. Let's just clarify that and get that sorted. Beautiful, guys. And look at this gorgeous design. This is freaking crazy. This is really impressive. YouTube analytics, subscribers, total views, has great channel. Okay, so this is dummy data. Now we're going to give it the real data. So I wonder if I could say, hey, here is the shareable link to my Airtable. Can you scrape that and enter in the info with the corresponding, I guess you'd say like column titles for the data? And also, hey, I would like to connect ChatGPT to interact with the data. So again, this is another milestone now. Now we've got the design. Beautiful. So we've scrubbed the data, we've got the design. The last bit now is just getting the data into the Airtable and then be able to use ChatGPT to have some conversations with it, which is really fucking cool. And then we can start rocking and rolling and having a good time, which I think is fucking nice. So we'll see if it's possible. This kind of data, guys, is going to be freaking awesome. And obviously you can share it with the client, put credentials behind it, put signing credentials behind it, connect accounts to Supabase like we did. So we just add a login section to this, like we did in the last video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link on screen so you can do it. And yeah, basically you're only ever going to access this with like secure login credentials, which is super, super important. And the other thing to bear in mind here, guys, is that this isn't sensitive data. So it's, I don't really, you know what I mean? But it's like, if you actually have very sensitive data, you want to go deep on the sort of, security stuff. So I might do a full video on that. If you want, let me know down below. Actually, we can go into more detail about how you actually physically do that, what that would look like. Airtable AI Assistant. That's cool. Let's have a look. And as it pulled through data, let's just see what's going on. So you'll need my OpenAI API key. And then I'm going to say here, I do not see my Airtable data. So now I'm trying to do two things. One is show your API key down here, which is fine. But what I want to do first of all is sort the Airtable thing. So look, let's focus on getting the Airtable data. How do you propose we add that in? Can you use the shareable link, or do you want the credentials? I think I saw one of it. There we go. Beautiful. So what it's suggesting is we're going to hard code the ID for the table, and then when I give it the API key, that can work. What I suggest you do, guys, if you're doing this with multiple clients, is you can basically give them a unique code for their Airtable ID and unique API key and build this once, and then you can actually kind of do this across multiple different clients at the same time, basically. So that's good. I'm going to write my API key, and then we will to rock and roll. Cool. So it's done. I have one. Where should I enter it? Question mark. Give that a couple seconds, get this updated. And already the UI for this, guys, I think it's freaking really impressive. So this is saying Airtable AI system, but it says OpenAI key there. Let's just clarify that. Cool. So it says OpenAI key, not Airtable. Let's just see what's going on there. All right, cool. Now this is looking a bit nicer. There's like the Airtable API key. Can we enter it in? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I've entered it in. Save the Airtable API key. Cool. All right, sweet. Data loaded successfully. 5 records from API tape. Your Airtable. Let's see where that is. Well, actually, guys, it says I was about to say it's not working. But if I can refresh data, allegedly that's supposed to work. So if I can refresh data, let's see. How's that work? This is really nice though. I really like this. This is actually really freaking nice. So I say, hey, refresh data didn't work. Okay, so allegedly, guys, we're using the wrong Airtable reference. What that is the thing, is the actual Airtable ID in the URL. So I just pasted it, and I was like, dude, like, could this be the wrong thing? And apparently, said that it is. So let's click off this and see if this can load up now. Click off here and come down. So the good news here, guys, is it's now working, and it's successfully connected to Airtable. The next bit is actually taking data and displaying it in the UI. So we'll figure that out, and hopefully we'll get the full beautiful data in our dashboard. Cool, so it's still not working. Let's just get it to re-attack the code. I think it's making good progress. It's definitely connected, but it's not quite displaying it. So let's just try this slightly alternate strategy. And guys, one final prompt, and we're here. Look at this. How to get AI automation clients, 5 proven steps. The number of likes is there 77, and we've got and it's also pulled through top of the content for YouTube. That is freaking unbelievable. Okay, that's insane. So if I just say the value is correct, okay, so I said, let's have a look. How to get automation clients. Okay, this one here, right? How to build a 1 million love app. That is 8,200 reviews. Let's check that that is correct on YouTube. Guys, let's write that. This is freaking beautiful. Oh my goodness, this was worth a little bit of investment. All right, guys, so I've taken a step back because this dashboard is great and it's pulling through YouTube data. But what I'm finding is happening here is it's not pulling through LinkedIn data properly or Instagram. And my theory for this was twofold. So I've gone offline, I've done some research and understanding why I think this might work. And I think this is a good learning. So what I've done is rebuild this app. And I tried again on this one here because I worked like 1,000 times basically. So I'm trying to get the data and it wasn't working. And I think what we need to do ideally is to get the data connection in first and then add the design in afterwards. So what I'm finding with Lovable, freaking amazing platform, but you've got to get it in the right sequence. And this is also the case if you're trying to do logins and passwords and loads of data security stuff. It's good to front load that is what I'm finding. So all I did, guys, I basically went over to Claude and I basically said, look, this is what I'm trying to do. Here's my objective. And I gave it this prompt. I'll put it down below so you can just grab it and use it. But essentially what I've said to it is like, look, I just want you to build the data connections. Let's actually make sure we get all the data that is completely accurate, not partially accurate, 100% accurate. And my theory here is once we get the actual linchpin of the automation done, the linchpin of the connectivity, then we can kind of work on all cosmetic stuff. My theory at the moment with this stuff is that when you do too much cosmetic, it kind of starts to complicate the code a little bit. So let's log in and I'll show you actually what I managed to do with this simple prompt. So looking over to database. All right, so look at this, guys. I come in, enter the API key, hit set key. Now check this out. And this doesn't look as flashy, guys, but look, it's got all of the data for LinkedIn done. It's got all of the data for YouTube. See, look at this, right? Come down. 71 likes, 18 views, 13 comments counts, blah, 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 all the same stuff, comments. 2650, 101. Let's just validate that's correct. Come over to YouTube. And do we see 2650, 101? We should do. Let's just double check. And just like that, guys, 2650, 101. Awesome. So what's happening now is we have all of the beautiful data and the data is connected. It's given this status, which is really cool. So what we've been able to do, guys, to do it. The other thing that I'd encourage you to do as well on the social is on each of the Airtable sets is make the naming conventions consistent. So I basically change these to be URL, caption, comment count, repost, likes, blah, 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 to be the same on all 3 of them. So basically, no matter what it is, some will just have empty fields, which is fine, but I've made it consistent. And again, this will be available with blueprints in the community, but essentially build it yourself. But just make sure you have them consistent. And if that didn't work, my next step was going to be to have a unique Airtable base for each one of them, which is cool, and we've done it. So the next 2 things we're going to do, one is we need to make this look awesome, and we need to do the so what, which is, okay, that's great, but now how do I actually ask questions about that? So what I'm going to do, first of all, is integrate the AI using our principles that we just discovered about functionality first and like presentation second. I don't know what that says about the way we do things, but hey, who cares? It needs to look good, right? So I'm basically going to give it a prompt now that says, like, hey, add a ChatGPT window, or portal, shall we say, at the top of each tab, and in brackets, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. I will provide an API key when prompted. I would like the ChatGPT module to have access to all of the data on that tab. Simple as that. Bam. Now, guys, what I'm going to get this to do is integrate the ChatGPT so we can ask it questions about, hey, how do we do this? How do we do that? Then I'm making it some pre-built questions. And then what I'm probably going to do then is get this information on a graph, potentially fancy, if we're really fancy. Then we can start to do other things like we did here. And again, obviously, then you can take this any way you want to. Like, we can get live API plugins for your subscribers, for your followers, Instagram, LinkedIn, have graphs, and all this sort of really cool stuff. Like, we can start to add this in. But the point is, we're going to get the core functionality, then we can add all these beautiful bells and whistles afterwards. All right, cool. So this says it's done. Let me just sign in here, for example, and then I'm going to go and grab the API key, and it should be asking us for the open API key. Let's just find out where that is. There you go. Enter your open API key, ask about your LinkedIn data. So we're going to make this look a lot better, obviously. So first thing we're going to do is head over to the beautiful platform.openai.com. We're going to come down, or we need to log in. I'll just log in real quick. Beautiful. So come down here and create a brand new key. Let's call this one Lovable with a few E's, and then create a new secret key. Then, guys, just copy that key. And then we'll come back over to our beautiful thing here, and then let's just enter API key. Let's just sign in here. Okay, guys, I've entered in my things. But ask it a question like, hey, what types of content are working best for LinkedIn? Enter, and we'll see what it comes back with. Hopefully now, obviously, it comes back, it means we've integrated ChatGPT, which is flipping awesome. So I will look in. Success stories and case studies. So posts that share more success stories, such as individuals scaling their business or achieving significant milestones, tend to receive high engagement. This is pretty cool. So guys, we have now just integrated ChatGPT. We've got the data for YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. One of the things that we can do here, guys, look at this example, 13 comments, blah, 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 is we could, if we wish to now, have things like the second it loads, auto-generate insights button. So we're going to do that. But what I want to do first of all is now make it look pretty. So to do that, let's, in fact, you know what? Maybe let's add some buttons. And auto-generate prompts. That's auto-generate prompts. And one should be something like, I don't know, like, give me insight, something like, what do top performers have in common? Or maybe like top performing insight. That's a better way to describe it, actually. Actually, might I zoomed out? I might be zoomed out a little bit. Okay, this is better, isn't it, actually? Okay, now we're back on that. Top performing insights. And then the other one will be poor performing insights. So we'll get these buttons. Let's have these as buttons. Beautiful. Add this in, and then once that's done, guys, what I propose to do next then is just add the aesthetics. And then once that's done, I mean, we could pretty much sit here together, drinking our beautiful coffees, our beautiful flat whites, actually, our beautiful flat whites, and just add new things in. So what I would want to do next with this is add in my subscribe account for LinkedIn, Instagram, and or follow account, whatever, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and basically tie that to different APIs. And you can start to build this incrementally. And guys, if you are somebody who's trying to sell this to businesses, you build it once. You build the application once, you get unique credential logins for those individual things, like unique codes. In other words, you cannot access it unless you have the code. Just connect to different databases, and then you're ready to rock and roll, right? So because it'll just be different versions of that thing, which is really cool. Presuming that you keep it consistent with your Airtable, which I think is freaking amazing. And for me, this is just going to help our team save so many hours now, because my team don't need to go and scroll Instagram and like what this. You obviously always want to look at what feels like it's working, but to get actual insights here, like if I just say, hey, let's go on YouTube, for example, and I just say, give me insights, and let's see what comes back with. I'm very curious to find this out, actually. And obviously, I've done ChatGPT, guys. You can connect this to DeepSeek, you can connect this to Claude, anything you want to. Video tasks and topics. So videos that focus on AI automation, client acquisition, building web applications, and creating AI agents, which are different topics in the technology and entrepreneurship space. Blah blah blah. The video style helpful and one man don't worry about has the highest views, 8K views, and almost 300 likes, indicating strong interest in the topic. So what we would do is refine these tools. Fundamentally, guys, how freaking ridiculous is this? The other thing I might do is add in images. So I can start to do thumbnail analysis on top of this and build up all the data. I mean, think about this as an app that pulls through every piece of data for inside your channel. If you just did that for YouTube, you would freaking crush with that. Now, I actually now want to improve the visibility of the dashboard, which I think is really cool. Does it look as good as our last one? Not yet, but it works. And I think that's really important to bear in mind that, like, as an interesting learning fieldable. And the other key thing I would say, guys, is like with builds, it's like if you get deep into a build and it isn't working, sometimes it's easy to say, okay, cool, we need to hit the reset button. So when you're building this stuff, guys, like if it does feel that, you know, it's not working, it's fine to restart a slightly different approach, because it seems to just build the architecture kind of solidify on that. So I'm going to hit CodePen, I'm going to get, let's just look at the dashboard. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to grab all the CSS, and then I'm going to come back over to the beautiful place settings. So cool. Now we're going to make it look epic in caps. Do not lose any functionality in upgrading the design. I'm going to say here is design inspo code. Oops. I accidentally hit enter. I wonder if it'll kick off now. I'm going to put CSS. And then let's come back and grab the second part, which is going to be all the JS babble. Come back over, type this one in here, and then what I'm going to do is just re-enter that prompt real quick. The other cool thing is if this goes a bit sideways, what you can do is just hit stop and do it. There you go, hit enter, hit the colon, beautiful. Now guys, one of the things that I did when I was building this with this previous version here is I went back and forth a lot, and I was like, okay, try this, and do we do this? And if you find yourself getting stuck in a loop when you're trying to get to do certain particular actions, completely normal. There is a point of this valley of death. After you cross which point, you may want to restart it on this thing. So AI is not at the point now where it will just, you know, inch for inch, just understand everything that you're doing and what you want to get to. It requires a little bit of finesse. There's a best practice to doing this. And that includes really thinking about it. So one of the things that I've taken away from this build with you here is to actually chat with Claude and have a conversation that says, look, this is my desired outcome. If we were to build this systematically, what would be the very first base case prototype, like functional thing? Build that. Like, for example, if you're integrating with something different, let's just get the hardest, most fragile part of the build, like the foundations, and then we'll add all the finesse thing after that. So this is loading. When it's done, hopefully we'll have something sexy and our build will be complete, and then I will continue to build this over time and absolutely crush it. Okay, so allegedly it's done, but obviously you need to improve this people. Let's just see what happens. All right, cool. So we're looking at LinkedIn data. It's decent. It's not quite exactly what I want. So for example, I'd say, hey, this is a step in the right direction, but let's make it look less like the image A and more like the image B. Why am I doing this, guys? I'm doing it because I'm a stickler for design. I'm a stickler for the feel. And I think if it looks good, it makes sense. I mean, I was listening to all the podcasts recently, and what's really interesting is I forgot the name of the software. But basically, they had this thing where every coder in the company wanted to use the software, and it created like billions of dollars worth of value on it. And one of the reasons for that is it was quite a saturated market anyway, but they just really got into the UI to the point where all the developers, like, dude, it's just so intuitive. And like, you want to be that for yourself. You want to be that for your clients. Like, it's so underrated, that ability to do that. This build come back as successful. Let me just do this bit. We'll fix the build, and then that should be decent. What's cool about Livable? It's successful. We just get it rebuild, which is fine. All right, guys. So it's come back up. It's ready to rock and roll. We're keep on improving stuff like this, which is decent. So we can come down here and I might say, hey, what do I want to do here? Well, we give it the API key, of course. Let's just grab that from platform OpenAI real quick. All right, guys, I just asked it to add in some graphs and colorful graphics. So let's just enter API key real quick and then set the key and check out what it's done. AI chat assistant. All right, this is cool. And do we have any beautiful graphics set? Not by the looks of it, because the build was unsuccessful. Let's just double check what that is and see if we can fix that real quick. All right, try to fix. So guys, now we've added some graphs. You can basically have fun and do whatever you like to. If I, for example, come down, I want to have a look at Top and Getty's incredible features. Guys, I hope you found this one interesting. If you haven't seen how to connect now Lovable to PayPal, I really encourage you to check that one out. That really increase the things that you can do in this application. I'll put the videos on the screen. But in any case, have a beautiful week. In this video, we're going to build a very powerful social media scraping system using N8N and a really cool API to give us for any particular platform that we like. Transcripts, descriptions, statistics, use comments like. Whatever that you'd like. Top creators consistently outperform their user data. And you might have great content ideas, but how do you know what stuff is that actually resonates with the audience? And the thing is, guys, it's one of the hardest things to figure out when you're starting out creating content, but there is good news and there is actually a science to it. And I'll show you how you build this entire thing in a clear 5-step process. So even if you're a beginner with no code experience, you will have this working by the end of the video. And I'll also integrate some cool technologies and hacks that will help you on your journey. So if you haven't already, grab that coffee and let's dive straight in. So step one is to decide which social media platform you'd like to use. In this case, guys, I'm going to go with TikTok because I've done lots of content on Instagram and YouTube, but it'll be the same process for all of them. They have slightly different quirks and you'll figure that out as we go along. So what I'm going to do just to show you how this works is grab the blueprint from my community. So head over to the classroom, everyday automation, and it's this one here. It's free, powerful TikTok one. All you do, guys, is you can download the resource. Then you come over, click these 3 little buttons, and then import from file, and just choose the file that you just downloaded. And just like magic, it will appear. And we're going to give this one the name of TikTok Scraper. So how is this actually working? So what we're using with this scenario, just to give you a quick TLDR of how this works, okay? We have an Airtable. Now, what we're storing here is every single account that we would like to scrape. And what we do is we grab their user ID and this thing called the SEC ID, and whatever the account is, I'll show you a very easy one-button way of how you get that. So it's basically the way that TikTok, in this case, for us, identifies that user. So once we've got this Airtable and create this database, what do? Well, we're actually going to call down and grab all the videos from that individual. We're going to do a little bit of code, a little bit of field management. Don't worry about that. It's just some technical gobbledygook that'll make sense. We grab the video, we download it, we transcribe it. And what we do when we grab this, guys, is we grab all of the data and we're adding it all to this Google Doc. So we have the transcript, the description, and some statistics, information about the creator. And then what we can do with this is essentially give all of this data to ChatGPT, to Claude, to DeepSeek, to any particular language model you want to. And we can say, hey, this is all of the performance. Basically, these are every single TikTok that's been going on my niche in the past 7 days. And this will run for you automatically on autopilot, by the way. And essentially what we do in step 5 in the video is we say, great, based on this information, what's performing? What the types of content that has resonance with the audience? And then we're going to use that to make your strategy better on a week-by-week basis. So what we're going to do first of all is build this entire thing together step by step. To do that, I'm going to delete all this stuff and we're going to begin. So step 1, we've done. We're going to choose TikTok for this video. The second step that we need to look at, guys, is to find the right scraper for the job. If we're using YouTube, we can use the Google API, and the skills I'll show in this video shows you how you can basically use this cool stuff to scrape anything. Now, we use Apify a lot in this video, guys. I'm going to show you something really cool about Rapid API. So you come to this big, beautiful screen, I'll put all the links down below, so you can just click and go. You can sign up or basically sign in if you have an account, okay? Now, what's really cool about Rapid API is it has access to enable you to essentially scrape whatever you could possibly imagine, guys. They've got dark mode. You know what they've got? They've got light mode. I get some critiques from dark mode sometimes, but you know, man, I gotta run to the light. I gotta run to the good place. So what we've got here, we've got loads of cool stuff. The one that we're gonna be interested in, you can see we've got Instagram, Zillow, lots of stuff. I would like the TikTok one, so let's go for TikTok in the search bar. So beautiful, scrap tick. That sounds really decent. So we click on the top one. Obviously, it's just like a Willy Wonka's Emporium of different scrapers. You select the scraper that you like, and then you'll see a page that looks like this. And just to give you the TLDR of how this works, guys, don't worry about the fact that it looks like code. Everything on the left is an endpoint. In other words, it's a particular request. So think of it kind of like each one of them is doors, and behind each door is a piece of information, which is really handy. Now, what we first want to do is get a user ID. This is TikTok's identifier. So what I would like you to do is on the left-hand side, you can scroll down or type it in if you prefer. We are going to look for, if this will load down, one moment. There you go. Username to ID on the bottom left. We click on that. Then it loads up. Then what you do is this is what the app is, the Rapid API key, the request URL. You click on to parameters there. Click on parameters and enter a username. So for this one, I think we should do, let's do Ali Abdaal actually, because he is really cool, and we'll just check out his thing. So Ali Abdaal TikTok, for instance, and that is his username. So copy that. He's got 2.7 million likes and 300,000 followers. So what do? We enter in the username, and then guys, in the top right, you can click on test endpoint. If you've never created a Rapid account before, you basically just subscribe to it and it'll pop up. So we click on test endpoint like so, and wait for the results to appear. And would you believe it? It has appeared. So we've got Ali Abdaal. So what we do then, guys, is head over to Airtable in this instance, which is really cool. So I'm going to build one of those with you together right now. So let's go over to airtable.com. I'm just going to duplicate this and we'll do it. Airtable, if you're not familiar, is kind of like Google Sheets. It's been hitting max and supplements. And by that, I mean it's been smashed in steroid because it's way more configurable. We can do a bazillion things with it. And it just makes our life easier. And your first 500 records are completely free. So you don't need to worry about cost in this case. So we've got the name. The other two fields we need to get, guys, is user ID and SEC UID. So we're going to come here. We're going to call this one, double click on it. User ID. Long text is fine. Single line text is okay. And then the second one I want you to grab, guys, is the SEC ID, SEC UID. Come on here, instead of user, just put single line text, and here, SEC UID. And then the first one, what I'd love you to do, once that finishes loading for us, is we come here, we're going to type in creator. Of course, we're going to give it a fire emoji because that's super important. Then we keep the visuals if and popping, of course. So we come here, creator. Beautiful. So we're Ali Abdaal, the creativity king. We come back over then to our API, which is right here. We've got SEC UID, we copy this guy. Beautiful. Come back over this, paste this in, and then user ID, copy this, come back over. Paste them in there. Awesome. By the way, guys, I've got some really freaking epic little shortcuts and hacks and I think you're going to really appreciate this video. So we've got Ali Abdaal. What would be the first step you do here? You would then think about every creator in your space, in your niche. If you're productivity, what are all the top productivity content creators like that are making content? And then the system will allow us to say, hey, there's 50 videos going out in your niche, right? These freaking 7 are killing it. We can use AI to analyze that and say, dude, like, this is where the resonance with customers are. This is where we want you to create content. Go forth and do that. So we've done this one. We're going to call this one productivity scraper. TikTok. All right, beautiful. What is going on with the TikTok ban in America, by the way? I don't know. I've been curious to know what the latest is with that. Cool. So we've got this. Now, what is the next step? So we've got the script for job. This is we've chosen TikTok. Could be anyone. We picked a scraper. If you didn't choose it, you easily could have, guys, chosen Instagram from this or YouTube, any platform that you want to. It's the same sort of process. Cool. So we've got the user ID. So we're going to now head over to n8n.io, our local platform builder of choice. I'll put a link below so you can check that out. And if you are new to n8n, I've just built out a masterclass in the community because there's some quirks to it, which can really help shortcut your learning journey. So what do we do? Now, just to get started with n8n, there's always a trigger with these things. In other words, what is the thing that starts? In other words, I'm going to configure this with you. I'm going to have it run every 7 days because I want to review this content every Sunday. So basically, every Sunday it's going to run. I'll get a document, and then I can start thinking about what I'd like to do, what that looks like. For the time being, we're going to click on trigger manually, which basically means we can click this beautiful orange button and it will run, which is flipping cool. Now, what we want to do first of all is basically have it grab the information from Airtable, because in Airtable, what we have is every single creator that we want to look at. In this case, it's just Ali Abdaal. When you do it, you'll have 5, 10, 12 people. The more the better. You don't want to give it defunct data, although it will understand live views. And TikTok's quite a meritocracy platform. In other words, every piece of content has every opportunity to go viral. So it's actually fine. It's really interesting in that sense. There's no algorithm bias like that. So what do we do? Look on the plus. You're going to type in Airtable. Head is up, and you look for search records. Now you won't have a credential, so come down and click on create a new credential, and you'll see here you need an access token, okay? So what do? We come over to Airtable. I'm just going to duplicate this and head over to airtable.com to show you exactly where you get that from. You come onto the homepage, guys, click on that beautiful jet at the top, and I believe it's accounts. Then guys, scroll down and click on the developer hub, a place where developers like to hang out and have a rock and roll good time. And then here you click on create token, and then here click on create a new token. We want to get a cool name, like TikTok, like that. And then scopes, all the scopes you think you might need, you can add all of them if you want to. This is basically you want to read, to write, do whatever you like to, so add all the ones you like. So I've selected all of them and then access. I always say all current and future bases, just so I'm not having a faff around, and come back, and then we create the token. You're then going to copy that token, guys, come over to the access token, and just pop it in here. And there we go, it's done, and we click save, and that should work for us fine. Credential successfully saved, and that's account through. These things, now we have access, and we'll get rid of this, no break, okay, thank you. So we now connect it. So now let's choose the base that we picked. Now what do we call our database? The productivity scraper. Cool, so come down from the list, and we'll just type in productivity scraper, come to me. Okay, cool. And then we're also going to pick the table. Now, this is cool. Basically, I recommend you have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, blah, 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 all the way down LinkedIn on the actual tabs here. But we've just got table 1 just to keep it very simple. So table is going to be table 1. Phenomenal. No need to form. No form is needed at all. And we just test the step. Cool. And as you can see, guys, the left of every panel n8n is the information that comes in, and the right is all the outputs, which you can view in table, JSON, or the schema if you want to. And everything's very drag and drop. So we see here what is created, the creator, user ID, and the SecuID. How cool is that? It's very cool. So what's the next thing we do? The next thing we now need to do is, okay, we know the creator. Okay, we've got all the creators listed. And we know who they are. We've got their IDs. We kind of want to just go and grab their posts, right? We're going to say, well, what the hell is he actually posted? Give me the last 10 posts done. Give me the last 20 posts done. So to do that, we're going to pop back over to Rapid API. So guys, the one that we want next is user posts. So in the endpoint section on the left, just type in user post, and you'll see that get user post, and then this thing here will appear for you. User post, you can see. So what do? We click on the parameters, and we've got user ID. In other words, that is the individual who's posted it. So what do? We come over to this one's mine. We're going to copy Ali Abdaal's user ID. This is just as a for instance to show you that it works. We come back over. Here we go. All right, come in, delete that, hit enter, and you can see as I change things on the left, changes things on the right. And then what we want to do is just simply test the endpoint for us. Let that load up for a moment. And one of the things I really like about Rapid, guys, is it just kind of pulls all the stuff in. Yeah? And like, what's really cool is there's no need to go and take the API keys back and forth. And I'll show you a cool hack how that works. It's really tasty. So we've got all this information. I'm going to click on 0, and this is every piece of information that we need. The description. Today is all, but I realized I've been using posts all wrong. Life hack, blah, blah, blah. And we've got all the information and automated dream of. So we know that works, right? So what do we do now? What I want to do, code snippets. Can you see this is shell and curl? All you're going to do, guys, and this is cool, this is so freaking cool. You're going to copy the snippet, right? We're going to go back over to n8n. And what we're going to do is click on this button, click on HTTP request, right? Sounds complicated, don't worry about it. Import curl, and then just paste that thing in. And look at this. By magic, the whole thing will just pre-populate for us. What does that mean? It means it's pretty freaking cool. Now you'll see, guys, can you see here? It's brought the value over. And it's brought that value over because that's what I put into it. Not on this one. I've got so many tabs open, it's crazy. That's what I put into it here. So if I change this to something crazy, it would update that on the right hand side. That's why that's brought that over. But in reality, we're going to have several creators. We're going to have Ali, we're going to have all these different productivity ones. So instead of the number here on the user ID, I want to get rid of that. I want to grab and bring it over here, okay? Now check this out. What I'm going to do is click off. One cool feature of n8n, guys, is the fact that if you think about we have this process going from left to right, sometimes we don't want to have to keep going back to Airtable and scraping it and doing lots of things. So what we can do instead is what's known as pinning. So we can pin the data. And when that data is pinned, you see that beautiful ping, it means that basically we're just going to assume that this already happened and we'll start from this point onwards. So now if I come to the HTTP request and I hit press play, it will just grab the Airtable record and it's completed. And if we look over to the right hand side now, can you see this is all of the beautiful information that we got from Ali? That's all the posts that he's done. It's like all this data information, which is really freaking cool. And that's all the secret source that we need to create this incredible TikTok scraper. But there is one kind of quirk when I was building this in the lab, guys, that was quite interesting to me. And that's the way this API works. You can see it's come out as one item, which isn't helpful to us because I kind of want to go download all the videos, I want to transcript all the videos, I want to text all the videos. So we've got to find a way of pulling out the right information. So to do that, we're going to add in a set field. So I come into set, edit field set. Now we're going to do manual mapping. That's absolutely fine. And HTTP request. Okay, cool. So you can see, I come into the schema here. We've got all this stuff here. What I want you to do is you've got the name. So this name is just going to be video 1. And the value is going to be this. That's it. That is, I'm going to save you about 15 minutes of your life, okay? And I'm going to tell you that's the one that you want. Okay, just enter that in there, you copy and paste it. If you're not in the community, you got you can screenshot it, whatever, and just have it transcribed. That's the one that you want. Then, guys, we just do it again. We go for what comes after 1? Well, it's 2, right? Boom. And instead of 0, you're going to go for 1. Beautiful. And then same thing again. Instead of 1, you're going to go for 2. And call this one video 3. Okay. And you basically do this for as many videos as you have. I'm going to do it for 5, just for respect for your time. Beautiful. And then let's just do one final one here, which is going to be video 5. Beautiful. I'm going to change that 1 to 4. Sound cool? Sounds pretty cool to me. We're going to click off, and once again, let's just pin this data, so we don't have to keep playing it, although it was a cool step, I enjoyed it. Now look, test step, let's see what, and I open up a tab here. I'm just going to duplicate and have a look. What do we see?
Probably using post-it notes wrong is how you use them properly. Normally we rip off post-it notes like this, but the problem is that it then like what?
Okay, is it bad that I kind of wanted to see what happened with that post-it note? Actually, let's watch it. Let's see what happens.
To naturally unstick itself. Instead, you should rip them off sideways because then it sticks properly. Tip number 3 for typing and thing.
Okay. Okay. I actually don't say. I'm going to be using that hack. That was going to be used for 5 minutes. Cool. So we've got it, and let's pin this data. Phenomenal. Now, guys, here's a really cool hack for you in NA10. Now, you can see that I've got 6 things handy, right? So 5 things here. Video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, if I try to download that, I'm not going to run it 5 times. It's just going to download the first one. So what we can do with NA10, I call this the super glue of NA10. I call it like the WD-40 from that. And we can actually add into NA10 code. So look, if I click on this button and I type in code. Now, we're not coding here, right? That's the thing. This is a no-code platform. But what we can do is say, hey, AI, this is the problem that I've got. I want you to create some code that will fix it. And then basically you can literally paste it into here and it will do it for you, right? So I'm going to do this with you step by step and show you this. So I'm going to have to ChatGPT really quick. In fact, I'm going to have Claude. And the reason I'm going to show you this, guys, is just so you get the skill of learning how to do this. So like, I'm going to copy this to the clipboard and so that I can download them individually. Then we paste a screenshot. And guys, we copy the code that appears there, come back over then and just type in, and it has imported 5 items. And we know this because, like, if you know enough, there's always going to be a little way to do it. For me, these little mini code blocks, these little mini code rockets are freaking awesome. Like if you're just struggling to get something done, just freaking throw a code block in there that does something. Say, hey, I want this to this, and oftentimes you'll find it works magic. But what's the deal right now? We've got the videos. We have them as 5 items. Now means that we are ready to download them. And I already went through the trouble of figuring out how to get the video to transcript in any. So we're going to breeze through this a little bit. So what's next? Well, the next thing, guys, on TikTok that has a video embedded into it. So you're never actually ever going to be able to download this. And this will be a really cool hack for you if you're ever trying to actually get a video URL, which you'll always find. So what we kind of want to do is give it the identifying URL. Okay, this is the video on TikTok. Give me something I can actually download. That's basically what we're saying. Okay, so we come back over to the beautiful Rapid API. And what we're going to look for, I'm going to do the endpoint thing here. On the left-hand side is we want to get the video without the watermark, which I think is pretty cool. So let's try and find that. Can you see on the left? Oh my goodness, if I just type in watermark, maybe it pops up. Video without watermark. Why is this important? Because we need to download it, okay? And this gives us a URL. So yeah, it's fine. Just leave that URL for now. And once again, guys, we can test the endpoint. Look at this. This is beautiful. You'll love this. Look at this. That gives us this link. Now check this out. By the way, no watermark link, music link, cover link, avatar thumbnails. Guys, what else do you need? Oh my, this is outrageous stuff. And the cool thing is it gives us all the information. So look, how many comments, how many digs. I think dig is like about up on TikTok. I don't know, I use it in language, but you know, WhatsApp share count, play count. This is all the gold dust that we're going to use to start making things. We can marry the things together to create something pretty epic. And by the way, guys, I sold an automation recently for like a kind of scraper on a social media things, like literally thousands of dollars in one pop. They're really straightforward. They're not straightforward when you know how, but like, yeah, this stuff not only is valuable, guys, it really sells. So look, I've got this no watermark link. I copied this. Let me give you a quick example of what this looks like, so you can see the difference, the wonders. Okay, yeah, so this is, I don't know what's going on actually. Man, we really picked this strange account, didn't we? This is funny. Okay, cool, so we've got this odd bizarre thing with Ali Abdul. I don't know what he's doing. Oh wait, no, that isn't Ali Abdul. This is a random one. Okay, that kind of makes more sense. Ali Abdul went a little bit left field with that. So we come with code snippets and we're going to copy the text. And then we come back over, guys, to anything scenario. And in fact, let me just do something really clean with this. I'm just going to name these as we go. So this one was grab the video URLs. So if we name them, I think that'll be really handy, right? Because then we know like what they're all doing. So then let's go to here, another HTTP request. Beautiful. Now check this one out. Import curl. You know, guys, boom, get this one in here. Bam. And it has populated, but it's this value here. So check this out. What we need to do now is give it the value from the code. And we can't really just grab the video, right? So this is another challenge here. We can't just grab video 1 because it'll just do video 1. So instead, we're going to give this value here, which is basically saying, hey, I want the JSON URL from code. And since it's going to fire off 5 times, we should get it 5 times. So should we physically test it? And so what it looks like by clicking test step, and we'll see the output on the right-hand side. So give that a hot second, and we should see 5 results. Then watermark link. Oh my gosh, this is really freaking cool. I really love this. I'm gonna God, this is freaking perfect. I love this. So now this should be something of Ali's if I open it up, not this crazy soft video.
You're probably using post-it notes wrong.
Cool. And now we've got something we can work with. We've got something we can actually download with. I think it's freaking cool. So let's come back over and then let's go to the next step is. Well, first of all, of course, we need to name this right, which is get downloadable URL. Beautiful. Well, actually, guys, the next step is really simple. And what I really like about this NA10 thing is we can see the number of items. Quite simply, guys, we just want to download it now. That's it. So let's just do that. HTTP request and get is fine. And then we're just going to give it the URL. And the URL is very simply the no watermark link. So I don't believe we need to add anything else. So I'm just going to test this step and see how we go. This should give me 5 things on the right hand side. I should be able to see them if it's done properly. And I should be able to download them also. So let that download. Give that a hot second. Okay, the suspense is intense. This looks good to me. So should we view? Let's view this one.
Tip number 3 for typing insanely fast, which is
Dude, you know, maybe we should. I think if we made a commitment that we're going to watch one of the videos every time it came up, I think by the end of the video we'd also be productive. That's a nice little value we, right? That'd be pretty tasty. So we've got this. The next thing we want to do is we're going to transcript, right? Because captions are cool, the stats are cool, but what the hell is he talking about? Is he talking about post-it notes or typing quickly? This is important information. So we need to then start transcribing things. So to do that, we are then going to click on the module, Advanced AI, go for OpenAI, like so, and then go for, I think it's just transcription. Yeah, transcribe the recording. Beautiful. And then we need to get the data over. All right. So I'm going to show you something interesting here, actually. So if you haven't got a credential with OpenAI, here's what you need to do. It's platform.openai.com / well, not assistance. Look at the API keys on the bottom left, and you basically create a new key, get the key, then you're able to create that new thing. But look, I come back over to this scenario. I'm going to do something really interesting. This is not going to work, and I'll show you why. Look, I test this step. Wow. Oh, credentials issue. Okay. That isn't the reason why it wasn't going to work, by the way. There was another reason, but I just wanted to show you what this is like. This is really nice. Look at this bad request. It's not very nice when it tells us it's a bad request, is it? Here's the reason why this isn't working. Because this is basically saying here that I need it to be an MP4 format. In reality, it is. But the difference here, guys, is the fact that this title, the name of this video that we've downloaded very gloriously only 1 module ago, doesn't end in .mp form, which essentially means that OpenAI is like banging its hand on the wall. It doesn't have the wherewithal to understand that. So what we're going to do is use the WD-40 of NA10 once again. And then it's the code module, okay? So what we're going to do with this code module is basically grab the video. We're going to call it .mp4, and then we're going to do the OpenAI, and that will actually then work for it. So look, I come here, I type in code, run some custom code. So instead of using code from the last video, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to screenshot this and show you how I would chat with Claude to do this. By the Claude, I do prefer because its coding ability is just a few levels higher. So ChatGPT runs around stuff sometimes. So if I were trying to solve this problem, this is why I wanted this video to be something that you could learn from. I was going to say, hey, I need to rename these MP4s to end in .mp4 so that I might transcribe them. This is in NA10. I want them to be processed individually. Call them that's 3-4 lines. So basically some code. I've written some JavaScript, and we'll see if this works on the first time. If it doesn't, we'll figure out why not. So I copy it, and come back over into a beautiful, phenomenal scenario. I click on code, and all, boom. And let's just test this step. Let's execute the node. Cool. And look at this, guys, file name. Video 1, .mp4, video 2, .mp4. Okay, cool. You can't pin it, annoying glitchy strange. But I've come back over and then I attach it to OpenAI's transcribe recording. Let's see if this works. So let's just go and pin everything that is pinnable, just so we don't have to go through and live life on repeat. It's funny this journey's been with you, and I freaking love it. You can always go back and check this out. Oh, look, okay, you ready? So come, I hit play. Let's see if it'll work this time. Have we got something magical before us? Is it going to work? What do you think? You back Claude to play? Let's see what happens. So this is, the fact it's taking a couple of seconds, I think, is quite positive. So this is worked properly. We'll see all of Ali Abdul's transcripts magically appear for us in the output section, which I think is really cool. And your social media is such an incredible way to get clients. The more guys, here you go, guys, look at this. This is every single one of Ali Abdul's transcripts that we just got into NA10. And what's cool about these techniques, guys, is these techniques can be applied in many different ways across many different lenses in NA10, which I think is really cool. So good little tools to tool belt there. So finally, what we want to do is add it to a Word document. Of course, you can add it to an Airtable. I'm going to add it to a Word doc because, and obviously we could then give it all to AI to analyze and give the prompts, but I'm just going to show you this so you have it in a Word document form because maybe you want to share it with the team. Either way, we could have an AI module or we could do something. So what do we do? And we're still on step 3 here because once we've gotten the AI data, then we can step 4 to analyze. And then finally, guys, we want to add in Google Docs. If you're not connected with Google Cloud, that sort of stuff, I'll put a link below in the description so you can follow that step by step of how you integrate it. But just out of respect for time, I won't repeat it in this video. I'll also put a little card on the screen somewhere so you can grab it. Type in Google Docs. And by the way, when you're in this console where you're adding things, this is where you add everything, by the way, in this API. The console cloud, Google Library, like YouTube, Google Docs, all your permission. It's dead straightforward. But again, I'll put a link down below for you so you can just crack on with it. Cool. But what we've got here, guys, we wanted to create, no, we don't want it to create. Actually, what is better here? I might add to create a document. Oh my goodness, I did the wrong thing. Right, let's come back over Google Document. Cool. I actually wanted to update a document, right? And I want to go to create a document that we can use like this called TikTok Scraper, for instance. And then we want to be able to do some cool stuff like this, right? So how does that work? Basically, we come back over to our NA10 scenario, doc ID or URL. You need the ID. So how do you find the ID? Well, basically, you copy the URL of the Google Doc and you paste it in. And the thing you're looking at here is you can see it's V1. You get rid of this bit beforehand, and then it's all this up until /edit. Bam. Okay, that's it. Text is insert, action is insert, body segment, and then you've got the text. Now I'm just going to give you the TLDR, guys, of what this looks like, just to make it super simple for you. So pasted this stuff in here. Okay, let's have a look, and let me just pop this down. So what have I got here? Okay, now look, check this out. I got the transcript, which is cool. JSON. And basically, what I want to do is just JSON.text for the transcript. That's how it's going to work. Then we've got video details, description, all this sort of stuff. So let's just leave that as it is for a moment, and we can clean it up in a second, right? So if I come off this for a moment, let me just test the step and delete everything in here. Okay, so I delete everything with Scraper, so we know now this is all going to be pretty decent. So let me just test the step very quickly and explain what all this stuff does. Reference code items don't exist. Cool. So as you can see here, we've got the transcript. So if I just get rid of this stuff for the moment and test the step and see what that looks like. Give that a hot moment and see if it brings it over. Then I'm going to want to bring over all the data and the cool bits and pieces. So it's done 5 different ads, which is cool. So let's go over to the document and see. As you can see, it's just batched all the transcripts together. Cool. Why is it all in one way? It's all in one way because we haven't added any spaces or information in between it just yet. So let's come up here, for instance. And what we can do, guys, is we can actually check if we come back over to one of these modules. I think it was the get downloadable URL. Can you see here how we've got all this information, right? Like the text. Boom. That's a downloadable URL. Right. We want that, right? The create time. Boom. I like that. And then statistics. So we've got all this cool stuff. So if I just copy maybe all the statistics here. And bring that in. And let's see what this one does, just so you can get a sense of what that looks like. Now, again, it should just be all a mangled, jangled, different thing. So go back over and check out what we've got. And you can see, so it's starting to bring things over. Okay, it's got the ID, but it's not brought everything over perfectly just yet. So let me come back and complete the stuff. So guys, what I've done now is just added a bit of detail, the transcript, his description, get downloadable URL, statistics, get downloadable, and you can see I've pulled that one over specifically. This will be in the blueprint when you upload it, but basically you can do this. And if it doesn't work, guys, one cool thing you can do is chat with beautiful Claude or ChatGPT to make this freaking phenomenal. So this should be everything that we need. Have I deleted everything? I have. I come back over, I test the step, and that should work for us perfectly. Give that a hot second, and then we should see the stuff starting to appear. And voila, we've got all the information, we've got the transcript, with the video details, we've got the description, we've got everything you could possibly need ready to rock and roll. So that is the end of step 3. Step 4 is the point now where we use this information with a language model to improve our own content. And to do that, I recommend using prompts, something like this. Okay, so analyze the data provided. Obviously, in this case, you have 20, 30, 40. Generate a concise list of video ideas and content themes organized with bullets, emojis based on what's working, focus on identifying content, blah, blah, blah. Then we say competitor, analysis. There we go. Beautiful. So then we go over to our document and let's just copy everything, come back over, enter, and so we go back with. Obviously, you're going to finesse this out a little bit and play around with it. And I've got some full prompts to go into way more detail. I just want to show you something quick on the hand here just so you can get an idea. So look, you can see productivity apps, has 1.1 is the highest, financial advice, video ideas. And basically, guys, the AI will then take this and create something unique. How you take this to another level, by the way, is you're going to give it information about your business. You're going to give it information about the type of content that you make, your avatar, who you focus on. We have so many blueprints in the community for this. There's one on the making your YouTube channel unstoppable here in your YouTube blueprint prompt. I'd recommend using this one, guys. It basically says, hey, this is the overview. Here's my information, my channel, my target demographic, my niche. And you can basically transpose this. And these are good examples of videos that crush the thousands, that sort of stuff. And then we can use that to create incredible content ideas based on the content that's actually performing. And you can do that every Sunday, meaning that you have a full calendar of items that you can make content that you know will do well. And step 5 of the process is actually improving the content. Improving on social media is 1,000 micro decisions and not one micro decision. If you commit to getting better every single week, you will start to enjoy those compounding effects over time. Using this AI is incredible. It gives you such data, and the fact that we can scrape this stuff now from all these scenarios at the click of a finger, get all these things of every competitor, every video niche is unbelievable, but it's only as good as your ability to implement it. So with that in mind, you've got to take on one new thing every week and try your best to improve on the content. Check out your comments, video ideas, and combine all this together for something that truly crushes it. And the technology is one thing, but if you don't know how to build funnels that sell, you're really going to trip up as you grow. So for a full hour, I think you'll really enjoy it.